This matchup features the San Miguel Beermen taking on Northport Batang Pier. And now let's meet the starters first for the San Miguel Beermen. A 6'2 guard from La Paz Leyte, number 6, Chris Ross. A 6'2 guard from Manila, number 3, Von Pesumal. A 6'3 forward from Ilocos Sur, number 13, Marshall Lassiter. A 6'4 forward from Lubao, Pampanga, number 29, Arwin Santos. And a 6'10 center from Pinamamahan, Cebu, number 15, Junmar Fajardo. Head coach for San Miguel is Leo Austria. And now the starters for Northport Batang Pier. A 6-foot guard from Ormoc City, Leyte, number 8, Robert Bolick. A 6'1 guard from Iloilo City, number 0, Paulo Taha. A 6'4 forward from Imus Cavite, number 7, Sidney Onwubere. A 6'5 forward from San Simon, Pampanga, number 3, Jamie Malonzo. And a 7-foot center from Cebu City, number 24, Greg Slaughter. Head coach for Northport is Pito Harenzo.
Your starters for this ballgame: Ross, Pesumal, Fajardo, Santos, and Lassiter for SMB. Bolick, Taha, Slaughter, Onwubere, and the rookie Jamie Malonzo for Northport Batang Pier. So still no Terence Romeo in the lineup for SMB. But we saw Alex Cabagnor warming up, as it will be Greg Zilla versus the Spider-Man, tipping it off. Brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Robert Bolick versus Chris Ross. This will be a must-see matchup in this quarterfinal pairing.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so many matchups here to be excited about if you're a Northport fan or a San Miguel Beer fan.
Now we start things off with Slaughter versus Fajardo. Greg Slaughter missing the mark there, overshooting the fadeaway jumper. Arwin Santos could not open the scoring as Jamie Malonzo chases down the loose ball. How will Marshall Lassiter try to defend the athleticism, the jumping ability, and the explosiveness of Jamie Malonzo?
Well, you know, again, I mentioned before, many exciting matchups here. That's going to be very interesting to see how Marshall Lassiter matches up. But right now, it looks like Robert Bolick and Paulo Taha are the ones switching off to guard Marshall Lassiter.
Ross matches with Malonzo staying in front of Chris Ross. Santos, another attempt from 3, still nothing there.
But I think we're going to be seeing a lot of cross matchups because so many of these players are so versatile on both ends of the court.
Robert Bolick uses the screen. Jumper, too strong. So still no points on the board with 1 minute and 30 seconds gone by in our first quarter of game number 1.
Sort of a calm before the storm for both teams before the actual explosions start to occur.
We're seeing a lot of switching coming from offense. If it is guard to guard or big to big, they would most likely switch it, talking about the defense of Northport.
Yes, definitely.
Perhaps with the exception of Slaughter and Junmar.
Yes, definitely. What's also interesting here is you have 2 3-point specialists in Pesumal and Marshall Lassiter out there on the court.
And that'll be the first basket of the ball game, an N1 opportunity for Greg Slaughter. That is big for his confidence.
Definitely going up against Junmar Fajardo straight up, actually. And that's the way he's going to have to play this entire series. But this is a nice little backdoor sneak, if you will, by the biggest guy out there on the floor.
Slaughter, the bonus free throw, is also good. So for me, Ali, this is an opportunity for Greg Slaughter to make the biggest statement in his entire career. Yes, he has won a BPC. Yes, he has won championships with Barangay Ginebra. But now, he will be tasked to lead, alongside Robert Bolick, Northport against a mammoth in SMB.
Yes, big challenge for him as we see Chris Ross receiving an assist from Junmar Fajardo, which is something Junmar Fajardo does very well. You know, the help comes over by Jamie Malonzo. Maybe not so much commitment, by Jamie Malonzo, just sort of jab a little bit to make sure that Greg Slaughter is okay, but to also be aware of the man that you're guarding cutting or sneaking up behind you.
And if there's one guy who you might allow to take on Junmar Fajardo single coverage against, it's Greg Slaughter.
It's Greg Slaughter. This is Junmar Fajardo's greatest matchup by far. Vice versa.
Good swipe coming from Pesumal as SMB gets the strip and the stop. 3-all is the score. Santos going back to Fajardo down low. Slaughter doing his best to stop him, and he forces Fajardo to a miss.
Those are the type of challenges that Greg Slaughter is going to have to use each and every single time Junmar Fajardo attacks him. Not necessarily block the shot or make contact, but just to extend his arms, letting Junmar Fajardo know he's there.
Well, that's the first basket of the playoffs for Jamie Malonzo, converting from deep. Also something he does very well.
And you know what? What's good about this kid? He rises to the occasion. Let's see if he rises to the occasion in the first round of this playoffs.
Fajardo down low. Another good stop from Slaughter. Malonzo leading the break. Attacks the middle, gets the basket and the foul.
We always talk about X factors in playoff series. Jamie Malonzo, as young as this kid is, could be a thorn in San Miguel's back or foot.
Or side.
Or side. Is that the right way?
Yeah.
Thorn
on the side.
a rock in the shoe. How about that? A rock in the sock. I can't believe I just said that. Anyways, but he may be the one. He might be the X factor. I know it's too early right now, but this could be a possibility.
Going under the screen was Jamie Malonzo, and Chris Ross makes him pay with a three-point conversion. All the 6 points of SMB belonging to Ross at this stage. 8-6 is the score. 2-point lead for the Batang Pier. Back to our main matchup. Slaughter versus Fajardo. Greg showing us the handles. Oh my goodness, an N1 opportunity for Greg Zilla.
Well, you know, he did take that time off and he worked on different parts of his game. A lot of dribbling, a lot of ball handling, training.
He crossed
also,
him up.
Yes, he did. I see it, Carlo. And with the running one-footer, I guess you could call that a floater. And we have yet to see the three-point shooting. All right, so this is a bit of a different Greg Slaughter coming into this whole playoff picture. And it's exciting to see. Now, if there's any type of movement that's going to give Junmar Fajardo a problem, that's the type of movement. Outside of Junmar Fajardo dealing with pick-and-roll situations defensively.
So far, so good for Greg Slaughter and Northport.
You almost jumped out of your seat, Carlo, when you saw that.
A 7-footer in the PBA with a crossover. Yes, you get up for those kinds of moments. On Wobere for 3, that's a miss. No rebounder available for Northport. We're not talking about a 7-footer Kevin Durant. We're talking about a 7-footer Greg Slaughter.
It did shock me a little bit, but I was pretending not to be shocked. But Arwin Santos with a 3-point shot.
Second 3-point conversion of the ball game for SMB. The first one belonging to Chris Ross. As they're down by only 1, 10-9. Robert Bolick sets up on Wobere. Here we go. Slaughter left open from Dave. Good line, just a little strong.
All he has to do is knock down a few 3-point shots in this game, Carlo, and that's it. Junmar Fajardo and whoever's guarding him is going to have no choice but to go out there.
Junmar Fajardo against Slaughter, kicks it out to Ross. Left open for 3 again. That's 2 for 2 from downtown for Chris Ross.
This is the one thing that they cannot misinterpret about Chris Ross. He's known for his defense, he's known for his steals and assists, but he can also score the basketball when needed.
One of the very few players to make 10 triples in the ball game is Chris Ross. So if he made 10, you best be sure that he can make more.
Sure. I mean, back in his PBL days or back in his D-League days, he was a scorer.
The first basket for Junmar Fajardo in this ball game, and it did not come off a post-up. It came off a move for Fajardo.
Well, sometimes it's best to get the big man in movement while he's on the move, because it makes it very difficult with all that momentum to stop him if you're the other big.
Another try from the outside for Onwubere. He comes up empty once again. A chance for SMB to add on to this 2-point lead.
Now, the one thing I'm going to say is whenever, and I'm speaking from experience here, whenever you go against San Miguel Beer, it's more of the mental aspect that you need to overcome.
Oh, good quick attack coming from Bolik, locating Paulo Taha for that fast break too.
Another stat I'm going to mention here, Carlo, is Northport is #1 in fast break points. So if they can get on the transition a lot more, they can have a really good chance here.
Sorry miss there coming from Junmar. As Northport wants to go on the run again, but this time around, good recovery from the SMB defense. Robert Bolik lost the ball. It will be Ross versus Jamie Malonzo. Ross forcing the issue there as he draws the foul.
Well, he got hit pretty hard by Jamie Malonzo. Now, Robert Bolik has to be careful and not allow himself to get his pocket picked.
2 fouls early in the ball game for Jamie Malonzo as Chris Ross used his veteran smarts to draw the last one. This time out is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. 14-14 is the count as we head into this quick break. It has been a tight battle so far between the San Miguel Beermen and the Northport Batang Pier. You know, Chris Ross may not get the best player of the game honors, may not drop 20 points on you, but Silent Waters run deep. As you see the numbers so far in this conference, about 7 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. He is the motor that keeps SMB running.
He is. I mean, he's the one who initiates the offense. He's the one who is pretty much the maestro. And, you know, you wonder if Alex Cabagnat's going to be able to be available in this game. He did look like he's going to play. He is suited up. But these two guys have been such a huge part of San Miguel's success over the last, 5-6 years.
Well, in those past 6 years, 5 Philippine Cup championships. As they have dominated this conference, with the exception of the last PBA bubble, with the absence of Junmar Fajardo. Oh, quick pass to Fajardo. Foul before the shot, as Junmar tried to get position early. That's a smart idea from Junmar, tried to outrun Slaughter, especially off a turnover from Northport.
What I didn't like about that is Greg Slaughter needs to sprint back on defense, even though John Anthony was back before him. Huge difference in matchups. Sean Anthony trying to deal with Junmar Fajardo down low, but they got to do a better job of the entry pass into Greg Slaughter.
Ross posting up. Oh, good block coming from Taha. But they run out of space. It's something that we've seen regularly from SMB. Ross trying to post up, but he usually gets his success against smaller defenders. Paulo Taha is by no means small.
This is a little bit different for San Miguel Beer. Why? Because Northport's a bigger team.
Yeah,
they're taller at different positions, many positions actually.
Robert Bolik to Malonzo, the 3-point shot. He is 2 for 2 from downtown. No rookie jitters here in the playoffs for Jamie.
He's game. He's game. You know, I remember seeing some of the battles between he and 30 Ravenna in the UAP.
Lead swings back to the side of Northport. We thank you once again for watching on PBA Rush. Also for our live stream viewers on Smart Sports, good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for hanging out with me, Carlo Pamintuan, and Ali Peak on the call. As the score is 17-15, we're expecting a tight ball game between these two teams. Another turnover here, that could be a problem if Northport does not take care of the ball against a team as good as the Beermen. Arwin Santos just walks his way to the hoop for that one.
There's a bit of confusion on who's supposed to pick up Arwin Santos because not everyone from Northport was back on defense. Jamie Malonzo kind of got hung out to dry because he was more concerned about the shooter in the corner.
Malonzo will try again from deep. Good line. Just a little short that time.
And we talked about this before, Carlo. When it comes to San Miguel Beer, you cannot make error after error, even if it looks like it's not affecting the scoreboard. All of these things are going to come into play later on down the line. So they need to make better entry passes. They need to be more aware of taking care of the basketball. And the one thing that I haven't been liking so far is the shot selection. But if they're going to receive if Paulo Taha is going to receive a pass like that, he needs to convert. You're not going to get too many opportunities like that going up against San Miguel's defense.
Doing what Rom De La Rosa did in our first game is Paulo Taha in this contest. Good defense once again from Greg Slaughter, denying Mawala Tautua from getting a basket. 17-17 is our score here in the first quarter. Slaughter posting up. Too strong off the glass. Battle for the rebound picked up by Ross. SMB does not go on the run a lot, but they do when CJ Perez is on the floor. He misses the reverse layup as a scramble lands with Lassiter. Ross to Arwin Santos. Mid-range jumper rims out.
It looks like Northport's a little winded there. You see guys walking back on defense and walking back on offense.
Sean Anthony fakes, extra pass, short stab, won't work. That would be a foul against Mawala Tautua. In terms of field goal shooting, SMB is at 23%, 3 of 13 from the field. Northport is at 5 of 8. The problem is that they've committed 4 turnovers already, and that is why we are tied 17 apiece. We have a timeout. Closing minutes of the first quarter of action between Northport Batang Pier and the San Miguel Beermen. Kevin Ferrer, Garvo Lanete checking in for Coach Bido Harencho. Again, showing you the wealth that Coach Bido has from his bench. He has a lot of reliable veterans. And talking about reliable veterans, how about Alex Cabagnon? Checking in for the first time. He has missed a lot of action. This is his first game in Pampanga, Ali.
Well, I think this is also very, very significant for San Miguel, obviously, because we know how important Alex Cabagnon is. But I'm expecting Alex to just sort of let the game come to him as the game goes along. Now, he's out here, he's orchestrating the offense. And again, like I said, just having him out there is already big enough.
Tautua liking this matchup against Troy Reich as he gets the bounce.
There's got to be more of a resistance there by Troy Reich. He's 6'9". He has to put up better defensive effort.
Robert Pollock, good pass. Lanete has some daylight, but he misses the triple though as Marcio Lassiter loses his grip on the ball to the baseline. He is subbed out in favor of Paul Zamar.
Right here, you know, the arm swipe, and then it's just too easy, too easy. You know, at least make it difficult for Mawala Tautua to back you down in the post.
Sean Anthony getting the friendly bounce there as we're tied at 19. Once again, Nico Elorde in front of Zamar. Cabagnot goes to Tautu against Reich. Zamar to Santos, top of the key. Cabagnot attacks Ferrer. Good short pass to Arwin Santos, but he misses the short stab. Counter-attack, Nico Elorde running into some trouble there as the ball is tapped out. It will stay with the Batang Pier. Final 32.7 seconds of our opening quarter. Tight matchup between the number 4 seed SMB and the number 5 seed Northport. Nico Elorde, jumper won't work. Rebound Cabagnot.
See, I mean, it's plays like that. That was a horns play. Great move by Nico Elorde. He was wide open for that jump shot. He's got to connect on those types of shots.
2 more fouls to give up for Northport. That's the first one. Drawn by Alex Cabagnot.
Northport has to take advantage of every single opportunity it gets. If you have a wide open shot, convert on that.
Cabagnot trying to post up against a smaller Elorde. Nico bites
Nice
on
move.
the fake.
Wow. Up and under fake by Alex Cabagnot.
Northport had 1 more foul, decided not to use it, as it allows a basket from Alex Cabagnot. Backing down, up and under move. Welcome back to the PBA. Welcome back to the San Miguel Beermen. Alex Cabagnot, as he gives them the lead after the first 12 minutes of action. The veteran comes back, and San Miguel Beer leads by 2, 21-19 against Northport Batang Pier.
This is the second quarter brought to us by Firefly, trusted lighting partner by the PBA.
Second quarter of game number 1 in the best of 3 quarterfinal pairing between Northport Batang Pier and the San Miguel Beermen. Carlo Pamintuan with Ali Peak on the call. And we will start things off with San Miguel Beer having possession. They have Cotladera, CJ Perez, Zamar, Cabagnot, and Tautua. Look at the field goal shooting. Both teams having 8 conversions. As CJ Perez opens the scoring in our second quarter with that layup, 4-point SMB lead. Lanete, straightaway 3, no good. Tautua battling for the rebound, but Nico Elorde was quicker to it. Sean Anthony will try his luck from downtown, still nothing there, as Cabagnot finally grabs the board for the Beermen.
I think Northport has to make better decisions offensively. You know, they were able to get a second chance opportunity. Get back into offensive set. Wait for more of your teammates to get back down the court. Run an offense.
Tautua takes it strong to the hoop, as Troy Reich had no other choice there but to give up a foul.
Troy Reich doesn't know what to do with Mwala Tautua here in the post. If you take a look, actually, this is CJ Perez reading the defense well. Being able to get to the basket, he's such a great slasher. But Mwala Tautua having his way pretty much with Troy Reich, the rookie.
Ali, aside from the turnovers, what do you think needs attention for Northport Batang Pier?
Well, the post needs to be addressed. Right now, there's no resistance whatsoever. There's no threat. Mwala Tautua has gotten comfortable in the block. He feels that he can do whatever he wants, and there's no ceiling. Even though Troy Reich is 6'9", he's not the one that's going to challenge by blocking shots. So CJ Perez feels comfortable just going straight in there.
The three-point shots are not falling for Northport here in the first half of action as a foul is called against Nico Elorde on the loose ball.
So I'm waiting for Coach Pido to insert Greg Slaughter to reestablish that post on both ends of the court.
We received an interesting stat from our lead statistician Fidel Mangonon saying that overall head-to-head since 2013, at least in the All-Filipino, SMB has gone 11-0 against Northport.
Wow. Well, and here's the thing. If Northport has any idea of that statistic, then it's become a mental aspect, a mental thing. Now, there's got to be more plays like that where there's penetration and dish-offs to the big so they can finish. Because so far, prior to that shot by Troy Reich, it's all been outside shooting. You're making it very easy for San Miguel to defend. There's no threat, once again.
Uh-oh, this could be problematic. Mawala Tautua against a smaller defender. But he is defended well by Ferrer, who's flexing a little bit, feeling good about himself after that stop.
There needs to be more of that. There needs to be more of a challenge.
Cabagnot sends it out. CJ Perez for three, no good. Rebound for Anthony. So some of the mainstays of Northport, Anthony, Greg Slaughter, were able to take a break in their final elimination round game against the Alaska Aces. They did not need that win for standings, and that's why they opted to rest some of those guys so they'd be fresh into this game one.
We see Sean Anthony both times down the court, the last two possessions, where he attacks the basket, and this time he scores on his own, right? Earlier, he attacked the basket, found Troy Reich. Those are the types of shots that Northport has to execute if Greg Slaughter's not in the basketball game. So he fakes like he's going to pass the ball into the post, gets the defense to bite, and then he attacks. Good move by Sean Anthony.
But Ladera does not have the lateral speed to stay in front of Sean Anthony. Elorde using the Anthony screen. Gives the ball to Sean. Goes baseline. Poor spacing there, but it opens up a three-point look for Nico Elorde as he hits from the corner. Tied ball game at 26 apiece.
Automatically Northport right into this. I'm wondering when Greg Slaughter is going to be heading back into the game.
Well, swarming defense. And it forces a jump ball between Nico Elorde and Gotladera. I still will not bet against Nico Elorde in this jump ball, Ali. Even if it's going up against the center. As Nico Elorde converts on that three-point shot. Another nice find from Sean Anthony.
I mean, I really want to see more of Jumar Fajardo going up against Greg Slaughter.
I told you.
Yeah.
He wins the tip.
Yes.
But SMB wins possession back. 3 seconds to shoot here. Cabagnot makes his space. Misses. Battle for the rebound. That was last tap by Balanza. It will stay with the Beermen. 8.5 remaining here in the second quarter. Arwin Santos checks back. Places Gotladera.
I mean, you talk about getting thrown into the fire for all these first-year players for Northport going up against a team like San Miguel Beer in the playoffs.
Paul Zamar struggling to find a grip on that basketball. Able to put up a shot, but he misses. 26-26, chance to take the lead for Northport. Balanza uses the Anthony screen, kicks it out to Elorde. Nico attacks middle. Good bounce pass, sneaky pass to Kevin Ferrer, who scores down low.
And what's significant about that, Kevin Ferrer cut baseline without the defense knowing where he was at.
Quietly, Northport is regaining their confidence here in the second quarter. Tautua with a strong move. Another sorry miss for Mo down low.
Troy Reich just has to use his body. Bang with Moala Tautua a little bit. Don't try to reach or swipe.
Balanza goes to Reich. This is a strength, but he misses completely with that three-point attempt. he can make them. Maybe some nervous energy for the
That's
rookie.
what I was about to say. He looks a little unsettled here.
Biggest lead of the ball game was at 7 points for SMB. So it's a 9-point turnaround already for Northport. No, the problem for Northport in their first game in the elimination round was that they allowed SMB to build a big lead. So even if they had an outstanding fourth quarter, they did not have enough time to get back.
You can't afford to play like that against San Miguel or some of the top teams in the league. But for Troy Reich, I'm going to go back to Troy Reich because I think he's very, very significant in this series, in the playoffs, period, because of his size and what he can bring to Northport, being thrown into the fire right now.
So the starters, just as expected, checking back in for Coach Pido Harencio at the 7-minute mark of your second quarter. 4 starters are on the floor, with the exception of Jamie Malonzo, as Balanza will stay in this ball game. Jamie Malonzo is number 4, Ali, in the race for the best player of the conference. A rookie, a youngster who did not get a strong start in his PBA career, ends up being in the top 5.
Well, you know what? He deserves it because of the way he's been playing.
Good early work there coming from Fajardo, pushing Greg Slaughter away from his comfort zone. Had to settle for that set shot. 28-28. The pass too strong as the ball bounced off of the back of Fajardo for the turnover.
It's actually a good idea by CJ Perez to get the ball in over the head of Greg Slaughter. More oftentimes than not, Juma Fajardo would catch that ball, gather himself, and go straight up and finish.
So the starters are all on the floor for Coach Pido Harencio. 3 starters for Coach Leo Austria as another turnover against Northport. It has been plaguing them throughout this first half.
I don't like the way Northport's offense is running right now. It's very lackadaisical. There's nothing precise about it. Meanwhile, San Miguel is just, even though the score is tied, they look like they're sort of picking apart the defense of Northport. Drawing fouls, getting players into foul trouble.
Looks like Alex Cabagnod has been welcomed back into the competitions already. He has a couple of scratches on his right elbow.
Sure, yeah.
Lassiter enters for CJ Perez. But the shiftiness of Alex Cabagnod and his ability to keep his dribble alive has been so important to the cause of SMB. They won championships because of him.
Oh, because of him, yeah. And let's not forget his clutch shooting.
Approaching the midway mark of our second quarter, Greg Slaughter wants to post up against Fajardo. The clash of the giants. Slaughter spins the hook shot, won't drop. Fajardo with the board. But that was a decent look for Greg.
It was a nice look. He's got to make those shots, though.
3-point shot for Cabagnod. Rims out. Rebound picked up by Onwubere. Action slowing down at this stage of the ball game. 30-28, just a 2-point lead for SMB. Bolik sets up Onwubere. Another try from deep. Finally, he gets one.
Robert Bolik is so dangerous off the pick and roll and penetration. He gets around or near the basket, and then he finds his shooters.
First basket of the ball game for Sydney Onwubere. As you credit another assist to Robert Bolik. Northport takes a lead 31-30. We have a timeout brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Northport Batang Pier has yet to get contributions on points from Robert Bolick, but he is making big-time plays for them. Taking it strong to the shaded area and dishing out that pass to Sydney Onwubere, who sinks his first basket here in the playoffs for Northport. He played for the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters in the PBA bubble. Traded to Northport in the deal that also included Doliguez and Bradwin Ginto. As Chris Ross steps out of bounds, turnover for SMB.
It's a good idea there by Jumar Fajardo, and they've connected like that so many times throughout the years, but unfortunately, Chris Ross stepped out of bounds.
Jamie Malonzo attacks middle. Turnaround jumper short. Rebound Ross.
Starting to see a little bit of the physicality from San Miguel Beer. It's not the first time that Marshall Lassiter has to defend someone bigger, especially in the post.
Arvin Santos with the offensive rebound. Lassiter misses from deep. Another offensive rebound for SMB. Fajardo fakes the handoff. Goes one-on-one against Greg. Fajardo with the left. What a touch from Junmar. Bolick to Slaughter. He will try again from deep. Air ball this time. First one was a much better look.
Much better.
And I feel that this might be the last attempt from the outside for Slaughter in this game.
Let's take a look at this move again. Shifty move by Jumar Fajardo. They've gotten away with some steps there, but great way to attack Greg Slaughter's head on. You know, you sort of shift him a little bit.
Corner pocket three ball is good for CJ Perez. Back to a 4-point SMB lead.
And you would think, because of the way San Miguel is scoring, that the lead is a much larger. But this is a good timeout by Robert Bolick and Coach Pito. Just to sort of settle things down. Their offense hasn't been clicking the way it should be.
Less than 4 minutes remaining in the second quarter. 35 for SMB, 31 for the Batang Pier. Taking a look at our tournament format right now. Again, the teams at number 1 and number 2, which is TNT and Meralco with a twice-a-beat advantage against Barangay Ginebra and the NLEX Road Warriors. Already saw our 3-6 battle between Magnolia and Rain or Shine. This is our 4-5 matchup between Northport and SMB. Thank you for joining us on PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan and Ali Peak on the call. Jamie Malonzo handling the rock. Attacking middle. Nice find. Slaughter down low. The hook shot drops in.
Jamie Malonzo was able to find Greg Slaughter on the move, again, which makes it a lot more difficult for someone like Jumar Fajardo to defend. Now, what I've also noticed is that Chris Ross is doing a good job of denying Robert Bolick the basketball. And, you know, in the long game, throughout this entire game, that's what you want to do, because it's going to have an effect. It already is having an effect on the scoring capabilities of Robert Bolick.
Arvin Santos hitting another basket there. As Robert Bolick continues to create for his teammates on Wobere. The layup is good.
And that's the thing about having interchangeable types of talent. Guys that can attack the basket, but they can also knock down three-point shots. Onwubere earlier was able to knock down the three-point shot from the assist of Robert Bolick. This time, the same connect. However, he was able to attack the basket.
Two-handed throwdown for Fajardo. Great find from Marcio.
Wide open underneath the basket.
Poor ball screen defense there coming from Northport, opening things up for the Kraken. Slaughter, once again pushed out of position by Junmar. Settles for the long shot, makes it.
Well, he's been working on it. He might as well try to take whatever Jumar Fajardo gives him and make him pay for it.
If you're Northport, you're exactly where you want to be, just staying within striking distance of the San Miguel Beermen. CJ Perez with a strong drive could not finish. Slaughter with the board. Malonzo draws the foul from Ross. Only the second team foul of SMB to stop that fast break opportunity.
Take a look at this beautiful pass here. And Greg Slaughter, I get it, he's trying to help out defensively, but he also has to still have one eye on the ball and one eye on his man, which is Jumar Fajardo.
He will try again from deep. 3 misses, but Slaughter fights for the loose ball, gets it back.
There we
Greg
go.
Slaughter with a jam.
There we go. So two-handed dunks by both bigs of both squads.
Imagine the fans in Cebu were treated to this
so
right? Much throughout their collegiate careers there. And now getting an opportunity once again to see them against each other. Robert Bolick against his longtime foe in CJ Perez. We're all familiar with those battles between LPU and San Beda.
Let's take a look at this. Great recovery by Greg Slaughter. No one's around the basket. No one's there to defend. Hey, you make them pay for it again. These types of opportunities are so critical for Northport against San Miguel.
It must be the Yeezys, Ali.
The what? is that like a, what is that, a Gen Z or?
The shoes of Greg Slaughter as a 3-point conversion from CJ Perez.
What kind of shoe is that?
A minute. Kanye's.
Kanye's?
Oh,
okay.
42-39 is the count in favor of SMB. Onwobere is fouled by Arwin Santos just as he was throwing that pass.
That just goes to show you how old I am, Carly.
That's his first 3-team fouls for San Miguel.
Is that a real? Are you kidding? It's a real shoe, right?
I apologize for even starting the conversation, Ali.
Well, you know, I want to learn. You learn every day. Let's take a look at this shot here by CJ Perez, being able to drain the 3-point shot. He's been doing a really good job on Robert Bolick defensively, as well as Chris Ross has.
Oh, for sure. No points on the board yet for Robert Bolick. Has only taken 2 attempts from the field, but he has pulled down 3 rebounds, dished out 4 assists. So Bolick trying to do what he can to help the offense.
He has to be more aggressive. He has to take chances and attack the bigs, the interior defense.
But the story of the first half so far for Northport is Greg Slaughter with 11 points in the ball game. Jamie Malonzo has 8 to back him up. On the other side, Chris Ross leading SMB with 10 in this game. And then, of course, Alex Cabagnot, his first game back in Pampanga, already chipping in 8 points to their cause. 14 seconds on the shot clock for Northport Batang Pier. Robert Bolick against Ross. Bolick attacks. Finally gets his first 2 points of the ball game.
I'm right on point. You know, you got to take a shot at it. If Jumar Fajardo blocks your shot, he blocks your shot.
30-second timeout requested by the San Miguel Beermen. 41.1 seconds remaining here in the first half.
And Carlo, you know, that's his strength.
Yeah.
Outside of the 3-point shooting and setting his teammates up, that is his strength right there. Attacking off the pick and roll, finding that open path, and going straight to the basket.
You know, I still remember when Northport Batang Pier battled against the San Miguel Beermen, and when they were holding a twice-to-beat advantage in the Commissioner's Cup. That happened in 2019.
Right. 2019.
Prince Ibe was their import, an outstanding shot blocker, big-time rebounder. And it was Robert Bolick who did his best to take over. Led the team in scoring in the first game, led them in assists in both games. And you just saw how disappointed he was after that matchup. Even if he was going up against the San Miguel Beermen, he felt like he should have won that series for his team.
That's the mentality to have. And you know why it's really important, not just for himself, but again, the rest of his teammates have to see that. as being one of the floor leaders or one of the leaders on the team.
Another mid-range jumper is open for Arwin Santos. He will not miss a lot of looks from there.
He's just made a career out of three-point shooting, block shots, dunks, but also those types of jump shots where really he's such a long player. All he has to do is just get the ball and go straight up. He doesn't have to take a dribble or anything like that.
Onwubere attacks baseline. Drive is good.
Look, Jumar Fajardo is a shot, can block shots, but he's not averaging as many block shots as he did in the previous years. Attack, keep attacking.
Make the big man move. That has been the theme for Northport as Paulo Taha gives up the final foul available for Northport. 6 seconds here in the second quarter. Marcio Lassiter having trouble. Chris Ross has to put this one up to beat the buzzer for three. No good. Good line coming from Chris Ross. So after 24 minutes of action, it is a tight contest between Northport Batang Pier and the San Miguel Beermen. And the player of the half is brought to you by Firefly, the trusted lighting partner by the PBA. And why not? Chris Ross, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Again, he is the engine of the San Miguel Beer offense. He might not need to score in most of their games, but for this particular contest, already dropping double digits in the first half.
If it's called upon, then he will put those numbers on the board, but he's also been doing a really good job defensively on Robert Bowen.
Slim lead for the San Miguel Beermen, 44-43 against Northport Batang Pier. Halftime break coming right up. San Miguel Beermen up 44-43, a slim 1-point advantage against Northport Batang Pier. And it has been expected to be a tight matchup as it is the 4th seed SMB going up against a 5th seed Northport. Highlights brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. In the first quarter of action, Jamie Malonzo, playing his first ever PBA playoff game, got going.
Yeah, he definitely got going, but so did Chris Ross early on in this first round of the playoffs. And then we see the killer crossover by Greg Slaughter with the runner, which we have not seen ever from Greg Slaughter. And then some more pick and roll action on the part of San Miguel Beer. This time, Chris Ross connecting with Jumar Fajardo.
And it was a battle between Fajardo and Greg Slaughter. It would continue into the second period, but with the bench also helping along with CJ Perez scoring on that layup.
And right off the bat, you see CJ Perez being able to evaluate the defensive situation and attacking. And then Jamie Malonzo attacking the basket, finding Greg Slaughter on the move.
Greg Slaughter having a strong start as Marcio Lassiter calls this ball screen, and with the defense in between, it was Junmar Fajardo getting that slam dunk.
Again, pick and roll action seemed to be the weapons of choice for both squads, and then the hustle by Greg Slaughter. He's going to have to do more of these types of 50-50 types of efforts to inspire his team.
And this is why it has been a tight ball game so far. All the numbers, are basically equal between the two teams.
Yeah, pretty much. Offensive rebounds, which has gone in the favor of San Miguel Beer, and 8 points off the bench for San Miguel. You think about Wallace Altua, you think about CJ Perez, yes. And then bench points, again, talking about those two, 19 points, 11 bench points for Northport.
3-point shooting, 5 of 14 for the San Miguel Beermen, 4 of 17 for Northport. Problem with Northport is they had a lot of turnovers in the first quarter of action. They were able to trim it down in the second. That's why it was a better quarter for them. Ross and Slaughter are your double-digit scorers. Santos and Cabagnot and Perez and Fajardo all chipping in for SMB. Malonzo doing the same with Onwubere on the other side. You're missing Robert Bolick from that list, as he has only 1 field goal to show for after the first 24 minutes of action.
Well, when you think about the matchup when Northport went up against a team like TNT, the similar thing happened where he was completely taken out of the game because so much of the defensive effort was focused on him. He cannot allow that to happen, especially in the playoffs, especially while his teammates are looking upon him. He's got to be aggressive. He's got to take it to the basket. He's got to take chances.
Those halftime stats were brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. 44-43. Thank you for watching PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan and Ollie Peak on the call as Marcio Lassiter opens the scoring in the second half with a one-hander in the shaded area.
Beautifully read by Marcio Lassiter.
5 on the floor for Coach Pido Harencio. Bit of adjustment coming from his usual starting unit as Sean Anthony takes care of his own miss. So immediately, the guy inserted into the starting lineup makes an impact for Northport.
Well, you need a tough defensive player, a physical presence on your team, period, in the lineup, period, just to sort of, get things off to a better start.
Marcio goes to Junmar Fajardo. That's the second slam dunk of the ball game for Junmar.
It's the most I've seen him dunk ever, but I like it.
So the starters for Coach Pido Harencio, Malonzo, Anthony, Slaughter, Bolik, and Taha. Up against the usual unit for Coach Leo Austria. And by usual, we mean the unit that won him 5 Philippine Cup championships. Cabagnot, Ross, Lassiter, Fajardo, and Arwin Santos. They call this the lineup of death for SMB. Fajardo down low is fouled by Slaughter.
Great power move by Junmar Fajardo. And the difference is Junmar Fajardo was forcing the action. It's a lot more aggressive. On the other end, Greg Slaughter tried to back down Junmar Fajardo, but when resistance occurred by Junmar, he stopped right away and looked for his teammates. He cannot do that. He can't do that every single time down the court. He has to attack Junmar. But here's a nice recovery, I guess, if you will, because Marcio Lassiter did lose the basketball, but Junmar Fajardo was able to recover it with the one-handed dunk.
Call that a happy accident for SMB as Fajardo takes care of that free throw, extending their advantage. Ali, we were talking about how we already think that Moala Tautua and CJ Perez, best of the bench crew in the entire PBA. And now with the return of Alex Cabagnot, with the impending return of Terence Romeo, you might have either Terence or Cabagnot also playing off the bench for SMB, making that second unit even deadlier.
You know what it reminds me of? Remember the Detroit Pistons from the 80s and how stacked their bench was? I mean, they had the deepest, most talented bench in the league for quite some time. I want to say about 4 to 5 years. Sort of reminds me, San Miguel sort of reminds me of that type of talent. John Sally, Dennis Rodman, Benny the Microwave Johnson.
Good tap coming from Slaughter. They will go on the attack here. Up top! Could not quite get to it as the pass was a little behind Malonzo. 3-point shot for Anthony. Rattles out. 2 missed golden opportunities for Northport.
Like I said, they have to be able to take advantage of these opportunities.
Chris Ross attacks. Almost lost his grip on the ball. Arwin Santos comes up short on the triple as that ball will go to Northport.
San Miguel Beer, their experience, you could see here. Very calm, very comfortable. They've established the inside, they've established the outside. But with Northport, different. They look a little bit unorganized, a little bit confused sometimes offensively.
Jamie Malonzo to Sean Anthony. Sean has a size advantage and he draws the foul for 2 free throws.
I've seen a lot of one-on-one action by Northport, and that's not within the flow of their offense.
Marcio Lassiter tried to sell the offensive foul. Referee's not biting. So Fajardo was called for the hack.
Northport's leaders have to take control here, because if they take control, everyone else is going to follow. And what I'm talking about is I'm talking about Robert Bolick, I'm talking about Greg Slaughter, I'm even talking about Sean Anthony. But right now, we're just seeing a lot of unorganization, or disorganization.
So Sean Anthony with Kevin Ferreira stepped up big time at the start of their campaign here in Pampanga, with some of their assistant coaches and head coach Pido Harencio not available due to the PBA's health and safety protocols. They led the squad and it led to a strong start for Northport. I mean, outside of TNT Tropang Giga, they might have been the best team in Pampanga, at least in terms of the results. Slaughter now shoots over the defense. He misses, and that'll be another stop for the San Miguel Beermen, protecting a 4-point lead, 50-46.
I just didn't like that shot by... I know he could knock down that shot, Carlo, but I mean, look, I want to see him to be more aggressive.
Counter-attack for Northport. Paulo Taha bounces it off the legs of Chris Ross. The ball will stay on the side of the Batang Pier. Northport hanging in there, not allowing SMB to build a lead.
And I think that's what could be very frustrating about it.
So this time out will be brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. 4-point advantage for SMB. Back inside the Don Honorio Ventura State University Gym, game number 1 of the best of 3 quarterfinal pairing between Northport Batang Pier with Greg Slaughter and San Miguel Beer with Junmar Fajardo as the centers of attention. Robert Bolick will have to step up and get his points here in the second half for their squad to have a chance. Greg Slaughter, another jumper, nothing there, but Paulo Taha skies for the rebound. Chris Ross just got a steal while on his back.
Amazing, right?
And that leads to a conversion from Alex Cabagnot, defense turning into offense for the Beermen.
Even though Northport's close here, you can see a bit of frustration on the faces and the body language of the Batang Pier. Can't allow that to happen.
Drive won't work for Robert Bolick as Alex Cabagnot attacks and just calmly banks that home. Northport needs a leader to step up at this stage. Tough shot coming from Malonzo. But Ali, that was an important make for Northport.
It was an important make, Carlo, but you know, it stopped the bleeding, but it's not within the flow of the offense.
Lassiter using the screen. Kick out pass, Cabagnot for 3. Looks away from it because he knows it was money.
Alex Cabagnot is probably one of the most nastiest competitors I've ever played with and against.
That was a little mean, I will have to say, as Greg Slaughter could not answer back on the other side.
He's got everybody fooled with that smile of his.
He looked away from it, Ali.
Oh, we got to see it again.
Lassiter in traffic, could not sink it. Northport will go on the run here. Oh, they turn the ball over. Cabagnot to Fajardo, back to Alex. It's just playground action coming from the San Miguel Beermen right now, getting anything and everything they want on offense, feeling good about themselves as they've built an 11-point lead, 59-48.
You know, it just looks like child's play in that last couple of sequences by San Miguel Beer. Forcing turnovers, frustrating the heck out of Northport. You look at the contrast, the body language of the Northport players going to the bench as opposed to San Miguel. They're just having a good time right now. You look at this fast break led by Chris Ross to Alex Cabagnat. He's looking for the foul. Little colorful action there between Malonzo and Cabagnat. And then three-point shooting. We wish we could have seen
Another angle of
that,
angle
but
of the
you know
look away.
we can't disrespect the sponsors, right? But it would have been nice to see.
Alex Cabagnat not missing a beat. 17 points upon his return. As Greg Slaughter finally stops the bleeding for Northport Batang Pier. You have a player coming off injury like Alex Cabagnat. You would think that he would be eased into the rotation a little bit, but nope. He was just allowed to be wild and be the old Alex Cabagnat.
When you've been around for a long, long time, you sort of know, in your mind, you sort of know how to prepare yourself. And you also have the maturity to take your time and allow the flow of the offense to come to you. I will say this, though. Alex Cabagnat is one of the hardest workers I've ever seen in my entire basketball career, and I'm talking about all the way back to when I first started playing. You know, there are times where we've trained together where after we're done training, plyometrics, weightlifting, he's in the gym working on his craft over and over for hours. And, you know, it's no surprise as to why he's able to come in here and look like he's never been gone.
And that just adds another big-time threat on the offense of the San Miguel Beermen as they await for the return of, well, their leading scorer in Terence Romeo, who will come back to action at some point in the playoffs. Slaughter reading his options. A tough pass there. Could not connect with Kevin Ferrer. As this will be an alley-oop conversion courtesy of Chris Ross.
I talked about how Northport earlier on is the leading team in the league in fast break points. Well, we're seeing more fast break points by San Miguel Beer here. It's because of their defense.
Greg Slaughter coming up empty there. Rebound for Perez. Good pace coming from the San Miguel Beermen as Arvin Santos misses on the top of the key three. Oh, even the bounces are favoring the San Miguel Beermen right now. CJ with a nice dish. Arvin Santos could not finish with a finger roll. 19-7 as Robert Bolick answers back with an N1 opportunity. They will need even more coming from Bolick, one of their leaders in this squad. He has to make himself felt on offense, not just assisting. He needs to score at this stage.
Yes, he does. As being pretty much the best player outside of Greg Slaughter on the team, he has to be the guy to take charge and lead and allow his teammates to follow, especially in this type of situation, the way he did so many years at San Beda. It was inspiring to see. It made your other teammates want to play harder. That's what I'm looking for from both Robert Bolick and Greg Slaughter.
Only 5 points in the ball game for Robert Bolick. He is capable of so much more. As Northport will be hoping that he catches fire the rest of this ball game for them to have a shot at coming back against the Beermen. Averaging 18 points per ball game. As Tautua is posting up against Onwubere. Mo Tautua bothered there by the defense. Good stop for Northport.
Good stop by Onwubere. Now, you know, for the younger players, the less experienced players from Northport, they're getting a glimpse of what it's like. Not a glimpse, they're getting the full spectrum of what it's like to play against a top-notch team like San Miguel Beer. Now, even though San Miguel finished, they didn't finish in the top two, it doesn't reflect the team that they actually are.
But Ali, even with what has been a tough third quarter so far for Northport Batang Pier, if they get a couple of unanswered baskets, they're right back in this ballgame.
That's why I'm being so critical of them right now. It's because we know the full potential of this team. All it takes is a few good stops and a few good buckets. And what I'm looking for is Greg Slaughter, Robert Bolick to galvanize their team, inspire them by just taking the aggression level to another notch. That's what they're going to have to do.
CJ Perez called for a personal foul, and that will reset the shot clock to 14 for the Batang Pier. Again, we thank you for sticking with us here on PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan and Ali Peak on the call. Also saying a special hello to the streamers on Smart Sports right now, enjoying this ball game. Good pass down low, but an even better block coming from Bolik. 3 seconds to shoot. Ferrer will have to put this one up. Too much passing. It was a good idea. It was the right way to go if you had more time on the clock.
Definitely. I mean, he already got the ball stuffed in his face. But that's, you know, in a perfect world, that would have been the correct pass to make.
Full timeout, 10-point advantage for the San Miguel Beermen. For the San Miguel Beermen, 19-10 so far in scoring here in the third quarter, as they're up 63-53 against Northport. Batang Pier, this is game 1 of the quarter-final duel. It will be a best of 3 between these two squads. Again, Northport has not yet tasted a win against SMB in the Philippine Cup, 11-0. That's how dominant they've been against this particular squad in all Filipino. Chris Ross, mid-range jumper off the glass, too strong. Slaughter with the board. And just back-to-back baskets could change the rhythm of this ball game. Robert Bolik could not get it. Greg Slaughter will have to earn his points from the stripe.
That was a nice pick set up there by Sidney Onwubere on Chris Ross to free up Robert Bolik. Now, they're doing a pretty good job of setting the initial, or the defense defending the initial pick and roll set up by Robert Bolik. So they're actually having a difficult time, Robert Bolik that is, getting past the first defender. So another teammate, in this case Sidney Onwubere, stepped up and set that pick, actually leveled Chris Ross.
Second free throw. Also a miss from Slaughter, but they get the ball back. Short jumper won't work. Good opportunities for Northport, just could not take advantage.
Well, in that case scenario, yes, you get the offensive rebound. Set the offense up again. Run something.
So CJ Perez with a strong drive missing. Slaughter gobbles up another rebound as they will attack once again. 8 rebounds in the ball game for Bolik. Kick out pass. And that's a 3-point conversion from Kevin Ferrer.
Good dish. Good pass by Robert Bolik. Sucking into defense and then finding Kevin Ferrer outside.
5th assist of the ball game for Bolik. As this is just a 7-point ball game. He can pick it up. Yep, that is legal. Onwubere attacks. Oh, he missed the lefty layup. Sorry, missed there. Von Pesumal wide open for 3-0 there. Rebound picked up by Junmar. But he runs into trouble. That ball bounces off of the foot of Onwubere. It will stay with SMB. What an opportunity missed for Batang Pier.
I mean, it was good hustle. He chased that ball down, which, you know, any coach would admire, but he wasn't able to finish. It looked like he was anticipating Muala Tatua to jump up there and contest it.
7-point advantage. Oh, no one looking there. Could have been an easy pickup for Northport as SMB will set up. High ball screen. CJ Perez goes to the crossover. Step back 3. That's no good. So Another stop for Northport. Again, in a minute and 18 seconds, they can turn this ball game around with a couple of baskets.
Definitely, I totally agree with you, Carlo. You know, getting the ball inside to Greg Slaughter, he scores a couple of times, or, you know, a three-point shot.
It was only a 1-point lead for SMB at the start of this second half. Slaughter with a good move, earning himself a couple of free throws once again, but he missed his last two from the stripe. Let's see how he does this time.
It's a good job by Greg Slaughter drawing that foul. I thought that he was going to kick it out and reseal and get in the better position to where he's much closer to the basket. All he has to do is use his height advantage over Wallet Altua.
First free throw is good, so they're climbing back into it. Looks like they were able to overcome, you know, that big run coming from SMB, because usually it just takes one big run for the Beermen. 2 for 2 for Slaughter.
And that lead is way extended, but not in this case. You know, going back to their previous meeting, and just when you look at them on paper, again, this is a team in Northport that can match up really well with San Miguel Beer.
That jumper is good for Mo Tautua. Greg Slaughter allowing him space to launch comfortably. Good drive coming from Robert Bolick, and that is what they need coming from him.
I want to see more of that. It's a nice take by Robert Bolick. He gets so much momentum coming off the pick and roll that when he attacks, it's a really hard attack, a really aggressive attack.
Slaughter now using his movement. And a good rebound coming from Onwubere.
Wallet Altua thought he got fouled, and I agree with him. There was a lot of contact there.
Onwubere for three, no good. Could have settled for the last shot, actually, of the third quarter.
That's what I'm talking about there. You know, and this is where the experience really comes in when you're San Miguel Beer, because you notice these types of things. These are the little things that really start to affect you as the game goes on. They could have really utilized that clock, probably gotten the ball down into Greg Slaughter and tried to get a better shot attempt.
3 seconds remaining. Still a couple of fouls to give up for Northport. Alex Cabagno to beat the buzzer. Comes up short on the jumper. But San Miguel Beermen try their best to break this game wide open. But Northport Batang Pier climbed right back into it. 65-60, a 5-point lead for SMB heading into the fourth and final quarter of action. The matchup we've all been waiting for, Junmar Fajardo versus Greg Slaughter, 15-8 for Greg Zilla, 10-9 for Junmar Fajardo. But we're seeing more touches for Greg Slaughter, understandably, because there's just too many weapons on the side of the San Miguel Beermen. They do not need that many shot attempts coming from Junmar.
Not at all. Not at all. You know, they just have so many weapons, and also another thing, he's getting a good amount of rest because you have Wallet Altua to fill in that substitution role. You can actually have him sit on the bench for a good 3 to 4 minutes, especially if things are going really well for San Miguel Beer's lineup.
So Northport, you can say, averted disaster in the third quarter.
Yes.
As they will get another opportunity here. Malonzo gets the ball from Onwubere. Bolick against Tautua. Bolik drives the layup too strong. Rebound Pesumal. SMB will go set things up as CJ Perez attacks. He is fouled by Ferrer.
Ferrer doesn't think there's any contact there. But that drive by Robert Bolik is a very good drive, and we've seen him do that so many times, particularly in the NCAA. But that's tough to get past. You got CJ Perez right in front of you, who's a very good defensive player, a quick defender, and then Wala Tautua with all that size. But still, he was able to get to the basket.
Perez is joined by Tautua, Santos, Cabagnot, and Pesumal. As a starting unit in the fourth quarter for Coach Leo Austria, he misses his first free throw. So the lead will stay at 5 for SMB. Perez manages a split as Northport has Bolik on Bubere, Anthony, Malonzo, and Ferrer. This is a small lineup. Try to take advantage of Junmar Fajardo not being there. Could have been a kick ball. The referee says play on. Long three for Bolik. Too strong. Rebound for Onwubere. Loose ball foul tag against Perez. No legitimate center on the floor for Northport Batang Pier. They will have the speed advantage here. Let's see if they try to go on the run against SMB. Anthony, kick out pass to Ferrer for 3. No good. Rebound for Pesumal. So Mo Tautua will have a height and strength advantage against any defender. Immediately, they tried to go to it. Well read by Northport. Good Malonzo kicks it out to Ferrer. Kevin, another kick out pass, Anthony. Extra pass, Bolik. Good scrambling defense so far. Anthony open for 3. He makes it count.
This could be a matchup difficulty for San Miguel Beer. You have a lot of interchangeable parts on the part of Northport. The only thing is who is going to defend Wala Tautua down low. But we did see a good anticipation play by Jamie Malonzo earlier on.
But you can see Northport trying to put more speed into their attacks. Ferrer for 3. That will not work, and that's a push from behind from Anthony.
Loose ball foul on number 10, Sean Anthony. Substitution, Chris Ross for Von Pesumal.
Chris Ross re-enters the contest for Von Pesumal. Less than 10 minutes remaining in this ball game. As you take another look at this drive coming from CJ Perez.
God, the skill level of CJ Perez.
Cabagnot against Bolik. He locates Tautua. Now good help defense from the weak side. Bolik changes his mind about attacking. With the presence of Arwin Santos down low, they will set up instead. Anthony attacks middle, goes the other way. Strong drive coming from Sean.
And as we've been talking about San Miguel so much, Northport's within 3 points. And, you know, I was concerned about who's going to be guarding the bigs of San Miguel Beer, particularly Wala Tautua. But you have a lot of quick help defensive players for Northport.
5 points for Anthony here in the fourth quarter, and that's the problem. When it's one-on-one, Wala Tautua has a big advantage over Onwubere.
You have to pick your poison because there's shooters from San Miguel Beer that can hurt you when you do try to collapse and help out on Wala Tautua.
As long as you have good spacing, Wala Tautua should have a good matchup down low. Anthony drives to his left, spins. 7 points in the fourth quarter for Sean. You were looking for a leader. Sean Anthony is stepping up.
He can definitely be, and he's the one that has, outside of Greg Slaughter, he has the most experience.
You can sense the playoff atmosphere on the hard court of the Don Honorio Ventura State University gym between SMB and Northport. Game 1 of their best of 3 as Malonzo picks up the rebound off the Cabagnot miss. Another opportunity to inch closer, even tie the ball game for Northport. Bolick using the Onwubere screen. Malonzo now. He attacks middle. Anthony has been a hot hand. He goes to Malonzo down low. Won't get the basket, but will get 2 free throws.
Good job by Sean Anthony so far, getting on the scoreboard, scoring buckets, and then setting his teammates up. That was a nice attack and dish off to Jamie Malonzo.
We have a timeout coming up. This timeout is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Malonzo will be taking 2 free throws when we come back. Northport, Batang Pier mounting a comeback here in the 4th quarter. Sean Anthony front and center of it with 14 points and 8 rebounds, 7 coming here in the early goings of our 4th quarter.
He's doing it off attacks, attacking aggressively to the basket, challenging guys like Arwin Santos and Wala Tautua, but he's also setting up his teammates, setting Jamie Malonzo, getting Jamie Malonzo a bucket and setting him to the line. But these are the things that they're going to have to do with 7:53 left in the game. Stay aggressive at all costs. Try to rack up as many fouls and trips to the free throw line as possible.
First free throw is strong for Jamie. And Malonzo has had a strong performance in his first ever conference in the PBA. He is number 4 in the statistical race for best player of the conference. Another rookie is right up there with him in Mikey Williams of TNT. The other leaders, Magnolia's Calvin Abueva, Ian Sangalang, and Robert Bolick of Northport, Batang Pier. But so far, it has been a struggle for Robert Bolick to score in this matchup. Defense of SMB all over him. 4 seconds to shoot here. CJ Perez, step back 3. Oh, a big one from CJ.
And that hurt. That hurt. Yes, that was pretty good defense by Northport.
Big time shot coming from Perez as he extends their lead back up to 5. That pass hit the bottom of the board. Turnover for Bolick. Oh, that was poor defense coming from Northport, but they get away with it. Lucky break there with Marcio missing. Lassiter attacks middle. His kick out pass goes right back to him. Foot on the line. Marcio converts.
Again, they make you pay. San Miguel makes you pay, especially by not being able to run down and chase down 50-50 balls.
Like, look how quickly they were able to put out 5 straight points as Sean Anthony continues to battle on the other side.
I mean, now Sean Anthony was able to convert and get the and one, but they were down by 2 points. San Miguel all of a sudden just goes on this surge.
Good little pass there coming from Malonzo. You know, in his very young PBA career, he has shown his ability to see the floor very well, making good decisions, seeing open teammates. Anthony missing the bonus free throw. Lead stays at 5 for SMB.
Some players, some young players' overall game translates to the PBA perfectly.
Marcio sends it to Tautua. So 2 bigs on the floor for Coach Leo Austria. Tautua fouled. That's an end 1. Sean Anthony, I don't think will
I'll
get that ball.
I'll be honest with you. I think that was He's saying that he got hooked by Wall Tautua, but that's not when a big man is attacking. Believe me, that's not the way you hook somebody. Okay, because I used to do it a lot.
Near turnover there. Uh-oh. Sean Anthony is down right now.
He hasn't gotten up.
They could actually call an official's timeout because it is Northport possession. This is unfortunate for Northport because he was the only one really gunning for it on offense. He mishandled the ball, tried to chase it down. Looks like he rolled his ankle as he was trying to gun for the loose ball.
Let's take a look what happens to his foot here.
Because it was tapped,
by CJ Perez.
He goes on the run.
Oh, right there. And they say the worst injuries are when no one's around you.
Yep. Unfortunate for Northport because of who it is and what he's doing right now for them.
Exactly. He's really the only person that's sparking the offense. And we're hoping that he'll be able to bounce back from this and come back into the game.
If not in this game, maybe in the next game in the series. As Paulo Taha drives baseline, short jumper is good over the defense of Perez. Can Northport rally around Sean Anthony as they've cut their deficit down to 5, 77-72. Tautua with a strong move, missing the gimme. Oh, what a good read there coming from Chris Ross. Ross misses the layup. Tautua is there for the offensive rebound and the putback.
Well, Tautua, Chris Ross showing their toughness.
Malonzo did not want to pull the trigger from deep. Instead, they go to Slaughter at the post versus Fajardo. Greg making his move, help defense waiting for him. Sorry, miss for Greg, as it was a great look down low.
It was a great look, but I want to see a quicker attack. Catch Jumar Fajardo off guard a little bit instead of just standing there. I'm sure he's looking for cutters, but you got to go at some point.
Nice bounce pass to Tautua, down low.
Now, this matchup causes all types of problems, and this is the perfect adjustment by Coach Leo.
Yep.
Bringing in Wall Tautua at the 4, Jumar Fajardo at the 5. All that size, very difficult for Northport's inside players to deal with.
Northport initially wanted to play small, and then Coach Leo Austria decided to play very big with Junmar Fajardo at center and Mo Tautua at the power forward position. Let's see if there are counter adjustments available for Coach Pido Harencho when we come back from this timeout. The San Miguel Beermen getting the separation they won against Northport. Batang Pier here in the fourth quarter. CJ Perez helping out from the bench. But it has been the combination of the presence of Junmar Fajardo and Mowala Tautua. Two bigs, two dominant forces in the shaded area on the floor at the same time for Coach Leo Austria.
Oh, for sure. Maybe Jumar Fajardo was able to be addressed by someone like Greg Slaughter, but that 4 position, there's really no one there with that physical strength to deal with Wall Tautua.
And now these are rush shots coming from Northport. Long 3-point shot will not work for Robert Bolick. Marcio Lassiter misses. And tap goes to Malonzo, losing the ball from behind.
Got to protect the basketball. You know, that's the second time he got ripped. He's looking for a foul, but this is playoff basketball. You have to hold on to the ball tight. Plus, you have to know who you're going up against. He tried to cross over Chris Ross earlier on and got ripped.
Fajardo with the offensive rebound, working down low, blocked by Slaughter.
Good defensive play by Greg Slaughter.
This is still enough time for Northport,
Oh, yeah,
3.5.
Absolutely.
They will have to put in the work. They will have to hit some baskets. This could be important, and that is a make. 3-point shot for Paulo Taha from the corner to inch them closer.
Earlier on, he knocked down a mid-range jump shot against CJ Perez.
Almost an 8-second violation there against the Beermen. But Lassiter sending it across. Right on time. Tautua down low. That ball will stay with SMB.
4.6 seconds on the shot clock.
4.6 seconds to shoot for the Beermen. Don't exactly know what happened there.
What happened?
So both teams unhappy with what transpired. So the referees will talk it over themselves.
I'd like to see a replay.
So it will be a turnover. It'll be a turnover against the San Miguel Beermen, but it disallows what would have been a fast break opportunity for Northport. So no one's specifically happy with the situation. We play on, 3 minutes and change remaining. 8-point lead for SMB, 83-75. Northport still in this. And that will certainly help as Paulo Taha will step to the line for 2 free throws.
Well, if you were to talk about players that have stepped up, especially in the fourth quarter, Sean Anthony in the beginning before he got hurt. Now it's Paulo Taha, which is 5 points in this fourth quarter, and then now he's at the free throw line.
We've been talking about his efficiency. He is 4 of 5 from the field, but he missed his first look from the stripe.
In his previous game, he had about 18 points, right? And
Yep.
he shot very well from the field.
Second free throw is good. So Northport giving themselves an opportunity here in the end game. Still down by 7 though. They need stops. Ball screen, CJ Perez could not convert. So another chance here for Northport to inch closer. Jamie Malonzo goes on the attack as he banks it home. Down to a 5-point SMB lead.
Tough shot by Jamie Malonzo.
5-point ball game with still enough time left on the clock. Chris Ross with the reverse, short. Northport on the attack again. Robert Bolick stops, pops, misses. Hurried shot coming from Bolick as they will go down to Moto to a nice give and go play between the two big men.
No one sprinting back on defense.
That would be a crucial turning point possibly in this ball game, as the San Miguel Beermen are up by 7 once again. 2 minutes, 3.9 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. San Miguel, Beermen back on top by 7 points. Their lead was down to 5 with Northport having possession, having an opportunity to trim it down and make it a 1-possession ball game. But Robert Bolick comes up empty on a rush shot from 3. And then a quick attack for the Beermen on the other side. Still not over yet. 2 minutes remaining in this ball game. SMB up by 7. Taha locating Slaughter. Greg now kicks it out to Bolick. Bolick attacks, dishes it out. Ferrer for 3. That's good. Big shot coming from Kevin Ferrer.
Huge shot by Kevin Ferrer. Set up by Robert Bolick.
Malonzo pressuring Ross. But the veteran point guard will not be bothered. Wasting away the time now. Lassiter against Bolick. Uses the screen from Tautua. Now it's Fajardo about to provide the screen. All the attention on Marcio. Lassiter, 1 second to shoot. Chris Ross flips it up. It hits the rim, but it's still a stop for Northport.
Huge opportunity here for Northport. Just have to get a good possession here.
Bolick attacks. Robert gets the layup and the foul.
That's what I've been saying all along. His strength is getting into a pick and roll action. You see the momentum, and what have I said in the past? Jumar Fajardo, if there's an Achilles heel in his game, it's dealing or defending the pick and roll. And one of the worst things you can do is hang back and allow Robert Bolick to gain all types of momentum attacking the basket.
Look at this 1 point difference right now. 85 for San Miguel, 84 for Northport, as the Batang Pier are coming alive late in this ball game, similar to what they did in their elimination round meeting. We have a timeout. Down by as many as 13 points earlier in the matchup. Northport, Batang Pier battling back. It was Sean Anthony who started it. Robert Bolick has inched them closer than they've ever been since the start of this second half. As we welcome you back to PBA Rush, Carlo Pamintuan with Ollie Peak on the call. Game reset, a full and a 30 for SMB. Only a full remaining for the Batang Pier. One more foul to give for Northport before they reach the penalty.
Now the difference between this game and their meeting in the elimination round is Northport had to overcome this large lead. The game has been relatively close throughout this entire 4 quarters.
Robert Bolick pressuring Lassiter. 1 second to cross, they got there in time. Bolick all over Marcio there. Cabagnot now has it against Taha. Cabagnot uses the Fajardo screen. Alex, the long 2, rattles out. Rebound Malonzo, and a chance for Northport to take the lead. Jamie attacks. Malonzo won't get the lead. Fajardo with the rebound. No need to foul yet for the Batang Pier. They're only down by 1. They only need 1 stop here. Ross against Jamie. Chris Ross gives it up to Cabagnot. 3 seconds to shoot. Alex comes up short. Oh, an offensive rebound for Mo. Now they will have to foul.
And you see the difference. And this is where experience is so key. Northport will learn this as time goes on. That wasn't the best shot that Northport could take in this crucial situation. Jamie Malonzo had all the good intentions. Even if he felt that he had the advantage, take it back out, work the offense, get a better shot, especially when all of your teammates have crossed the half-court line. So many opportunities there.
Takes you back to the shot that he tried against Barangay Ginebra. They need to foul. Someone needs to get close to Alex Cabagnot. Miscommunication there. It will cost them a couple of seconds. But still, even if SMB makes
still
both
out of
free
time.
throws, Northport still has a full timeout, and they have a lot of good three-point shooters. Alex Cabagnot will be tested from the stripe on his first game back, his first game in Pampanga. Oh, he misses the first.
Now here's the thing. Now, you saw the contrast, right? You saw the inexperience a moment ago. Then you see San Miguel come up, and you see the way they work things around.
Second free throw for Cabagnot is good, and Coach Pido Harencio will call his final timeout of the ball game. His team down by 2. It's like the exact same thing that happened to them in the elimination round. We'll be back after a few messages. Northport, Batang, Pier engaged in a tough battle against the San Miguel Beermen. As you take a look at our playoff bracket, Magnolia picking up the first win against the Rain or Shine, the Last of Painters, in their own best-of-3 series.
Look, my problem with that is this is where someone like Robert Bolick or one of the more experienced players has to chase after Jamie Malonzo and say, give me the basketball. Let's run something.
But still, they find themselves in a good situation. 7.3 remaining, down by 2. Robert Bolick has the ball. A long 3! Oh my goodness! Robert Bolick with a rainbow!
Oh man! And we've been waiting for something like this to happen. Wow. Unbelievable.
Robert Bolick, who has struggled from downtown all game long.
Ice in his veins.
He was 0 of 4 from the three-point range, and he made the most difficult three-point shot. Look at this. No one will guard him from that far out, and he somehow finds the bottom of the net.
What I don't understand, we're all aware that he can light it up from that deep. We saw him hit a shot in the previous game from the logo. Chris Ross, these are crucial situations here. Should have challenged that shot. As great of a defensive player as Chris Ross is, he has to recognize this.
The official time remaining in the fourth quarter is 5
That man
seconds.
is just a born winner. There is no other way around it. He wins games for his squad. Still, in this situation, they're only up by 1. Still an opportunity for the San Miguel Beermen to take this away from them. 5.1 seconds remaining. No Robert Bolick on the floor, as Coach Pido Harencio has called an all-defensive crew.
Very, very crucial.
Look at how
possession.
fired
Yes,
up
absolutely.
Northport is, how hungry they are for a win against SMB in the All-Filipino. 5.1 seconds remaining, no fouls remaining. Here we go. Alex Cabagnot attacks the short jumper. It's good! No timeouts remaining. 1.5 left. No Bolik on the floor as well. That pass goes to Onwubere for the win. That's short. And the San Miguel Beermen, with the return of Alex Cabagnot, pick up the victory.
That's got to be painful for Northport. But what a huge shot by Alex Cabagnot. We've seen him time and time again make these types of shots. So it's no surprise.
A dejected Robert Bolik. But what can you do? Alex Cabagnot has been doing this all his life. Tough jumper over the defense of Sidney Onwubere. As the San Miguel Beermen take a 1-0 lead in this best-of-3 series, they escape Northport Batang Pier with the skin of their teeth. Good entry pass. Onwubere had to put up a rush shot, but it would not fall in. Even with that epic 3-point conversion from Robert Bolik, the San Miguel Beermen take this away from them, 88-87. What a ball game, Ali B.
Unbelievable. You saw two great shots, one by Robert Bolik, and then, of course, Alex Cabagnot taking the game into his own hands and winning it for his team.
Again, his first game back from injury, his first game in Pampanga. And this next level player of the game is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. We could not have selected anyone else. It had to be Alex Cabagnot.
Definitely. It all began with that up and under shot in the post. And then everything just sort of flowed from that point on for Alex Cabagnot. You know, he hurt Northport from every angle. And of course, just that dagger shot at the end to bury Northport.
Cabagnot in the crunch, always a good idea for Coach Leo Austria. As they escape this one, they're ahead now 1-0 in this best-of-3 against Northport. But what a performance also coming from the young Batang Pier. They gave themselves an opportunity to steal the ball game away. They were down by as many as 13. They battled back. They will have another shot at the San Miguel Beermen in game number 2.